I have a pretty, I think, get more done better for less. How can, extended workforce analytics give you the edge? Exactly that. Get more done better for less. I think data and benchmarks give you the leverage and credibility needed to be an advisor to the business, negotiate, forecast, budget, and make smarter buying decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Jeff, I know I started out with the conversation piece, but we've done this for a number of clients, because I mean, we get a job feed of every single job posted in the entire United States, for pretty much most companies, right? And so as you can imagine, it's a pretty massive data file. And so we have the ability, we can walk in, and when we partner with, great firms like Brightfield, we can work with a client and we can show their requisitions. We know what the time to fills are. We know what the aging requisitions are. We can map it immediately to, by the way, here's what you could be doing from a contractor perspective. And they're absolutely, and this is why I'm so passionate about, is I know we can do better as a combined industry. We absolutely can help our organizations get talent, that much, it may not necessarily always be cost effective in terms of cheaper, but we know we can solve the skill shortages that organizations are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean by combined industry? Can you you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's just building that total picture, right? I mean, right now, the contingent work world, kind of knows here's what it takes for us to get contractors, right? Here's the rate cards, here's our markup rates, here's, what our agency mix looks like. You don't see it combined very often with full-time data, in terms of, what jobs are we posting? What skills are we posting? What's that time to fill, right? I mean, the two data sets traditionally are not combined. And for a variety of reasons. Now we're seeing, that's changing and we're helping clients change that. But as an industry, the more we start building those connections, the easier it's going to be for everyone to accelerate and serve our stakeholders that much better.
Okay, so that could be obviously collaborations and conversations like we've been talking about, but it could also be technology that brings this data together in a way that's easy to understand and visualize and actually do something with. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, and we've done that for some clients, right? I mean, I know I talked to because some folks on this webinar may not have the ability of, okay, let's go build the data warehouse, but if you've got the means to do it, you have the ability of combining those two data sets, and I can tell you the insights are pretty amazing when you do that.
Yes, and then you obviously have to have quality data going into that combination as well. So there's a lot to that. The second to last question is what's next for workforce analytics, and we'll just broaden the conversation from extended workforce analytics to workforce analytics if we're being inclusive here. What do we think is next?
Sarah?
I think what's next is data-driven decisions in real time. So with the automation, AI, technology evolution, I think more proactive and served at the time of action. So not just data analytics, benchmarking, but that data being incorporated into all the processes so that it can be served up at the time of action. I think using data to help the hiring manager make the right decisions in real time versus it be a look back action, and or be a cumbersome process of, let me put together this big overall strategy that gets blown up every quarter because of budget changes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's leveraging AI, leveraging data throughout the whole process. And at the very beginning, if I'm a hiring manager, I need to fulfill this work, and using AI models to be able to help that hiring manager make the right decisions. Should I be hiring an FTE? Should I be hiring a non-employee? If non-employee, should it be staff aug? Should it be through a supplier? If staff aug, what is the right location? What is the right cost? What is the right supplier? If FTE, what is the right skills to look for, et cetera. So I think data, and automation in driving decisions from the very beginning.
Sure. Agreed with that. You know, one thing we do at Flextrack, we do configure our workflows to bring that data up at a time
Yep.
when a manager needs it or a decision maker needs it. So it could be opening requisition, it could be extension, it could be wherever the business process requires it to do. And then if you're doing your prescriptives correctly, you can then suggest the next best action to take based on that data. Franz, any comments on where things are headed next?
I get the privilege of working with the provider community, right? So some of this is not me guessing, some of this is I know, but I think think of it in two realms. I'll kind of take two interesting areas. One, and I know it's an overused term, but it often paints the right mental picture, which is that behavioral nudging, right? Where we are able to combine data sets, we are starting to create common screens that can do the nudging. I mean, just imagine walking onto a manufacturing floor if you're a frontline supervisor and your phone is nudging you saying, hey, listen, Sarah has worked 62 hours this week, she's worked this time 3 weeks this week. You may want to check in with her. Is she getting burned out? Is she okay? Is everything all right? Right. It's that type of prompting that I'm really excited about, because I think we are going to start making it where the data is actionable. Right. So I think that's kind of piece number one. I think the other more, it's almost kind of in parallel to this. One of the traps that we're going to fall into from an industry, if we're not careful, is, what are we doing with skills data? Skills data is, if we're not careful, we're going to be synonymous with competency data, which kind of came and went, right? Because it just became unactionable. It was too complicated. It was too hard. And the industry has gone through this real quick flurry where we had no skills data. Then we were all buying skills taxonomies. Then we were trying to do an inventory of employees, to now all of a sudden, 24 months later, you have several product categories that are trying to be the system of record for skills, right? You got vendor management systems, LMS, HCMs, talent management systems. And now we have clients going, I've got skills data on the same employee in four different systems. What do I do? How do I put that together? Right. And so we're kind of running with this harmonization problem, and it's not just the simple nouns, right? Of scripting languages are the same as Java, same as Ruby, all that kind of stuff. But it's also, well, how do you do proficiencies? Different systems rank 1 through 5. Some are alpha, some are definitional, right? So we've got that, and then you layer on top of that. Right now skills are often this glom of nouns, right? And so and when you look into these lists, there are soft skills in there, right? And everyone's kind of got their own definition of what soft skills are, but you'll find in there learning agility. Well, okay. If we're going to go into performance management, where does learning agility fit as a skill versus another skill, right? How do we weight that? How do we determine proficiency on that, right? And so I think the industry is going to hopefully, figure out this harmonization piece across systems. But then two, we've got to figure out, okay, how are we really embedding these skills into the right processes in the right way, right? And then later down the road, the one that has me most excited that no one's doing yet, but I think we'll get there, is team composition theory, right? As we learn skills, then you start going, okay, if I've got a project team that's got 12 people on it, what are the skills I need at a project level, both at a hard skill and a soft skill level? And that's high performing theme theory. There's some amazing IO psych studies that have been out there, and hopefully we'll get there, right? We'll get beyond the individual. But lots of fun stuff happening in the people analytics space.